Okay po. So, good afternoon everyone. So, before we start, attendance po muna tayo. So, kindly open your mic and then say present if you are here sa ating Google Meet. Aguado,
Present po.
Aguila,
Present po.
Andal, Atienza,
Present po.
Baitan,
Present po.
and then Barte, Julius, Bendicio, Mark, Bulaklak, JC,
Present po, ma'am.
Kanako, King Philip,
Present po.
Cantos, Leslie,
Present po.
Carpena,
Present po.
Kumiya,
Present po.
Daitol,
Present po.
De Castro. Okay po. So, De Castro,
Present po.
Digma, Kurt, Disakula, Eura,
Present po.
Endaya,
Present po.
Gahol, Garcia, Charibel, Garcia LJ,
Present po.
Walter Camille,
Present po.
Jordan Kim, Lagartera Christine,
Present po.
Daraya, Latayan,
Present po.
at Makatangay, Malabanan,
Present po.
and then Marmol, Jomari, Marquez, Medel,
Present po, ma'am.
Mendoza,
Present po.
Mitra, Motas,
Present po.
Onte,
Present.
Reyes, Reyes, Then we have Salazar,
Present po.
Sastrillo, Tolentino,
Present po.
and Tuangco. Okay po. So before we start, natin kung top input ngayon. So yes po, Miss Aribel. So before we start, yung ating pang topic na this is chapter 4 and then chapter 5. So let me present the presentation for chapter 4. Okay po. So again, good afternoon everyone. So this is our chapter 4 or the types of information system. So here are learning objectives. So first is to know the different types of information system and to see examples for each type of IS. So ang topic natin today is about different types of information system. So question lang before we start. So have you ever wondered kung paano nagiging organized ang data ng isang company? So for example, paano nila nalalaman yung mga sales nila for a specific day, kung ilan yung inventory sales nila, kung ilan yung sales or yung profit, kung kumikita ba sila or nalulugi. So all of those are managed by what we call information system. So today we will discuss the different types of information system, ano ulit ang information system, at examples kung saan natin sila makikita in real world. So sabi dito, successful companies typically employ 6 different systems to ensure that every aspect of the organization's data is properly managed and used to improve decision making and problem solving. So this allows a company to maintain a competitive edge, find growth opportunities, and keep an accurate audit trail of financial and transactional data for compliance purposes. So again, information system. So ano nga ba ang information system? So dito, an information system is basically a system that collects, processes, stores, and distribute information to help in decision making. So dito, meron tayong dalawang uri ng information system. So we have the manual and the computer-based information system. So first is the manual information system. So a manual information system does not use any computerized devices. The recording, storing, and retrieving of data is done manually by people who are responsible for the information system. So before computer existed, companies used manual information system. So ibig sabihin walang computer. So everything is done by the people manually. So it includes handwritten records, yung mga books natin, yung mga filing cabinets, and the paper reports. So let's say, halimbawa, meron tayong sari-saring store. So instead of using computer, day mga morning sale, meron tayong mga afternoon sales, and then yung mga expenses natin. So then at the end of the day, they manually compute yung ating profit. So the components of the manual information systems, we have the people, the business procedure, the data, the filing system, and the reports. So the people So people are the recipients of the information system. So sila din yung nagre-record ng data. And then we have here the business procedure. So these are the measures put in place that define the rules for processing data, storing it, and analyzing it, and producing information. So ito yung rules kung paano i-process ang isang information. And then next, we have the data. So these are the recorded day-to-day transactions. So data is basically the daily transactions. And then we have here the filing system. So this is an organized way of storing information. Filing system is where documents are stored. And then lastly, we have the reports. So the reports are generated after manually analyzing the data from the filing system and compiling it. So reports is basically the summary of the data. So but the problem with the manual system is of course mabagal siya. Mabagal siya and then prone to human error. And of course, difficult to retrieve information. So, 'di ba, dun sa ating mga manual information. So, for example, sa logbook lang, for example, is mababasa or basa yung ating logbook. So, kapag nabasa siya, so syempre mapablur or magiging malabo na yung sulat since nabasa nga siya. So, in that way, magiging difficult yung pag-retrieve ng information. And then system. So a single set of hardware, software, databases, telecommunications, people, and procedures that are configured to collect, manipulate, store, and process data into information system. So now, because technology evolved, companies shifted to computer-based information system, meaning instead of doing everything manually, computers are used to process information. So a computer-based information system has several components. So we have here the hardware. So the term hardware refers to machinery. This category includes the computer itself, so which is often referred to as the central processing unit or the CPU, and all of its support equipment. So among the support equipments are input and output devices, storage devices, and communication devices. So meaning, ang atin pong hardware ay yung mga physical devices like the computers, the keyboards, the printers, and the servers. And then we have here the software. So the term software refers to computer programs and the manual, if any, that supports them. So computer programs are machine-readable instruction that direct the circuitry within the hardware parts of the system to function in ways that produce useful information from data. So programs are generally stored on some input, output, or medium, and often disk or tape. So, ang atin pong software, so these are the programs or application like yung ating mga accounting software, yung ating mga payroll system, and yung mga database system natin. And then the third one is the data. So data are facts that are used by programs to produce useful information like programs, data are generally stored in machine-readable form on disk or tape until the computer needs them. So these are the raw facts that the system processes. So for example, yung mga customer orders natin, yung transaction natin. So ito po yung mga raw facts that the system processes. And then we have here the procedures. So procedures are the policies that govern the operation of a computer system. And then procedures are to people what software is to hardware. So it's a common analogy that is used to illustrate the role of procedure in a system. So these are the rules on how the system should operate. Again, yung atin pong procedure is the rules on how the system operates. And then lastly, we have the people. So every system needs people if it is to be useful. Often, the most overlooked and most influence the success or failure of information system. So kahit gaano ka-advance ang system natin, kailangan pa rin ng mga tao or people in order to operate it. So for example, when you buy something sa mga department store or supermarket, the cashier scan the barcode. So automatically, computer record yung ating sale, updates the inventory, and the receipt. So that is an example of the computer-based information system. Now moving on to the types of information system. So we have six. So first is the transaction processing system or the TPS, and then we have also the AOS or the office automation system. We have here also the knowledge management system or the KMS, and of course we have the MIS or the management information system. We have also decision support system or the DSS, and lastly we have the ESS or the executive support system. So first is the TPS or the transaction processing system. So it captures and processes the detailed data necessary to update records about the fundamental business operations to the organizations. So dito sa ating TPS, so this system records the daily business transactions. So transactions are everyday activities like the sales, yung mga payments natin, yung mga orders, yung mga receipts. So, for example, when you order sa McDo, so the cashier enters your order in the computer and then rate and print the receipt. So that is the transaction processing system. So TPS is very important because it ensures the transaction are accurate, complete, and fast. And then next, so this are the traditional transaction processing method. So we have here the batch processing system. So it is a form of data processing where business transactions are accumulated over a period of time and prepared for processing as a single unit or batch. And then yung atin namang online transaction processing. So it is a form of data processing where each transaction is processed immediately without the delay of accumulating transaction into a batch. So ang atin pong batch processing, so ito yung transaction that are collected first and then processed later as a group. So ito ay yung mga iniipon na transaction and then saka siya ipaprocess kapag marami na. And then yun namang ating online transaction processing. So this means transaction are processed immediately. So for example, yung mga ATM withdrawal natin. So when you withdraw money from the bank, so that the system updates your balance instantly. So immediately napaprocess yung mga transaction. So because of the importance of transaction processing, organizations expect their TPS to accomplish a number of specific objectives, including the capture, process and update, accurate and complete, avoid fraudulent transaction, timely user response, achieve competitive advantage, improve customer service, and reduce labor requirements. So a TPS typically includes the following types of systems. So we have here the OPS or the order processing system, the accounting system, and the purchasing system. So we have here also the data editing, the data correction, the data manipulation, the data storage, and the data production and reports. For data editing, so it is the process of checking data for validity and completeness. And then yung data correction naman natin, it is the process of re-entering data that was not typed or scanned properly. And then lastly is yung mga data manipulation natin. So it is the process of performing calculations and other data transformations related to business transactions. So the process, so for data storage, so the process of updating one or more databases with new transaction. And then we have here the data production and the report. So it is the process of generating output records and reports. So next naman is yung ating office automation system. So an office automation system is a network of various tools, technology, and people required to conduct clerical and managerial tasks. So typical example of function performed by an OAS include printing documents, yung mga mailing paperwork natin, maintaining a company calendar, and producing reports. So primarily, an office automation system assists in enhancing communication among different departments so everyone can collaborate complete a tasks. And then lastly, so an OAS or the Office Automation System can integrate with email or word processing application to ensure all communication data is easily accessible and in one centralized location. So by utilizing an office automation system, businesses can improve communication between workers, streamline managerial activities, and optimize knowledge management. So this system helps to perform the office task more efficiently. So it ang mga yung mga spreadsheets, yung mga company calendars, and the video meetings or yung mga video conference or what we also known as yung mga online meeting or the Zoom. So for example, when you create documents in Microsoft Word or Google Docs, so that is part of OAS or Office Automation System. So it helps employee to communicate, to collaborate, and to share information easily. And then next naman is the KMS or the Knowledge Management System. So a knowledge management system stores and extracts information to help users enhance their knowledge and optimize collaboration efforts to complete tasks. So we have here the employee training material, the company policy and procedures, and then the answer to customer questions. So KMS, so this system is used to store, share, and knowledge within an organization. So ang example dito is yung mga training materials sa ating mga newly hired employee, sa yung ating mga company policies and guidelines, and the frequently asked question or the answer to customer questions. So KMS is used by employees, customer management, and other various stakeholders involved with the organization. So it ensures that technical abilities are integrated throughout the company while providing visual to help employees make sense of data they see. So because a KMS shares expertise and provides answer to essential questions, using one can improve communication among team members and assists everyone in meeting performance goals. So that is our KMS. Again, so ang ating KMS is used to share knowledge, and help the employees within an organization. And then next, we have here the MIS or the Management Information System. So an organized collection of people, procedures, software, databases, and devices that provides routine information to managers and decision makers. So a management information system uses or use transaction data from a TPS to help middle management optimize planning and decision making. It retrieves TPS information, aggregates it, and generates report to help those at the management level know important details of a situation. So summaries and comparisons are utilized to allow senior managers to optimize the decision-making processes to achieve better results. And then lastly, most of the reports formats encompass summaries of annual sales data, performance data, or historical records. So this provides a secure and systemized way for managers to meet their targets and oversee the units. So ang atin naman pong MIS, so this system helps the managers monitor the business performance. So it takes data from the transaction processing system or sa ating mga TPS and converts it into report. So for example, ay yung ating mga monthly sales report, yung mga employee performance report, and then yung mga inventory report natin. So for example, a sales manager want to know which the product sold the most in this month. So the MIS generates a report showing sales data. So MIS helps manager in planning and monitoring sa ating mga operations. And then next, we have the DSS or the Decision Support System. So it is an organized collection of people, procedures, software, databases, and devices that support problem-specific decision-making. So a decision support system processes data to assist in management decision-making. It stores and gathers the information required for management to take the proper action at the correct time. For example, a bank manager can use a DSS to assess the evolving loan trends to determine which yearly loan targets to meet. Decision models are programmed into the IS to analyze and summarize large quantities of information and put it into a visual that makes it understandable. And lastly, because ADSS is interactive, management can easily add or delete data and ask important questions. So this provides the evidence required for mid-management to make the right choices that will ensure the company meets its target. So ang atin namang DSS, so this system helps manager make complex decisions. So unlike sa ating MIS, which provides reports, so DSS provides analysis and models. So nagagets po ang pinakaiba ng ating MIS at saka DSS. So ang MIS po is nagbibigay ng reports while ang decision support system naman is nagpo-provide ng analysis and models. So for example, a bank manager wants to decide should we approve more loans this year. So the DSS can analyze loan trends, yung mga customer data, the financial risk, and then the system helps the manager evaluate the possible decision. So DSS supports problem solving and decision making. And then last, this is our ESS or the Executive Support System. So executive support system are similar to ADSS but are primarily used by executive leaders and owners to optimize decision making. So an expert system helps enterprise leaders find answers to non-routine questions so they can make choices that improve the company's outlook and performance. So unlike ADSS, an executive support system provides better telecommunication functionality and a bigger computing functionality. So we have here the graphic software. So it is integrated with an ESS to display data about tax regulations, new competitive startups, internal compliance issues, and other relevant executive information. So this allows leaders to track internal performance, monitor the competition, and pinpoint growth opportunity. So this system is designated or designed for top-level management or top-level executives like yung ating mga CEOs, yung mga company owners, and then the top managers. So, ESS provides high level ng ating summaries of business data. So, for example, it includes company performance dashboard, yung mga market trends, yung mga competitor analysis. So, for example, a CEO wants to know how is our company performing compared to our competitors. So the executive support system or the ESS provides the graphs, the charts, the summarized data, and it will help them to make strategic decisions. So meron pong questions sa atin pong different types of information system. So we have 6 types of information system. So any question po? So to summarize, organization use different types of information system depending on their needs. So we discussed the PPS, the OAS, the KMS, MIS, DSS, and the ESS. So each system support different levels of management and decision making. Understanding these systems is important in order to know that almost all modern organizations rely on information system to operate efficiently. So meron po bang question sa ating pong chapter 4, which is the types of information system. Okay po. So if none, kindly type type S kung wala pong question. So, kindly type S po if wala pong question, or kung may question po, you can raise your hand. Okay po. Since wala naman pong question, so proceed po tayo sa ating chapter 5. So, chapter 5 is about the SDLC, or the Systems Development Life Cycle. So, these are the learning objectives. So, at the end of this lesson, so the students should be able to overview the system development life cycle model and to discuss the 3 fundamental systems development strategies. So, have you ever wondered how software or the information system are actually created? So for example, yung mga online banking system natin, yung mga enrollment system sa ating university, and then yung Shopee or Lazada. So hindi naman sila basta ginawa bigla or hindi naman sila basta bigla na lang ginawa. So there is a by developers to create this system, and that process called the systems development life cycle. So today yun po ang pag-uusapan natin. So SDLC, or systems development life cycle, so it is a conceptual model of the phases an information system goes through. So the typical systems development life cycle model suggests 5 fundamental phases of information system development process. So we have here the planning, the analysis, the design, the implementations, and the maintenance. So SDLC, it is a conceptual model that describes the phases that an information system goes through from beginning until it's maintained or improved. So in simple terms, SDLC is the process of creating an information system from planning until maintenance. So think of it like building of a house. So before you build a house, you must plan the design. You must analyze the requirements, create the structure, construct it, and then maintain it. Ganon din ang paggawa ng information system. So, the SDLC model provides a general guideline for the information systems development in 2 aspects. So, the system development process of an information system must move through these 5 phases. So, although the pattern of how an information system goes through these phases depends on the approach used for the information system development, a successful information systems development process can never omit any of these 5 phases. Then next naman, each of these 5 phases produces a set of products called the deliverable, which is used as the input or to its successor phase. Each phase elaborates on the work of its predecessor phases, and then the structures and forms of the deliverables of each phase can vary depending on the approach used for the information system development. So the quality of the deliverable affects the quality of the entire information system development project. So again, this is the 5 stages of system development life cycle. So we have here the planning phase. So let's discuss the planning phase. Sabi dito, planning phase is to outline the scope of the problem and identify solutions, resources, costs, time, and other aspects should be considered here when the project plan is developed that identifies, prioritize, and assign the tasks and resources required to build the structure for your project. So it is the process of preliminary investigation to understand the deliverable of the planning phase includes a report of feasibility study and the work plan for the new information system development project, why a new information system should be created for the organization. And once the organization decides to create a new information system, a full scale project of information system development is then started. So this is the first stage of system development. So in this phase, the organization tries to identify what problem needs to be solved. Why do we need a new system, and is it worth developing the system? Because the developer also considered the resources, the cost, the time, and the manpower. So basically, this phase answer the question: should we build the system or not? So ang question daw dito sa ating planning phase is, should we build the system or not? So let's say a university wants to develop an online enrollment system. So during the planning phase, they will ask, ano yung mga problema sa ating current enrollment process? How much yung cost to develop this system, and do we have the developers in order to build it? So after evaluating, they decide whether to continue the project or not. Nagigets po sa planning phase. And then next, we have the analysis phase. So the full-scale information development project to investigate what the new information system will do. The project team fully investigates the current information system or the as-is system of the organization and the specific business needs for the new information system. And then the new information system that meets the system requirement is called the to-be system. So the next phase is the analysis phase. So in this stage, the project team studies the current system, also called as the as-is system. So yung current system is also called daw as is system. And then yung new information system naman is also known as to be system. So the goal here is to understand how the current system works, what problem exists, and what improvements are needed. So then they determine the requirements of the new system, also known as to be system. So basically, as is system is the current system, and to be system is the new or improved system. So for example, in manual enrollment, so problems might be yung mahahabang pila, yung mga nawawalang documents, and slow processing. So the new system requirements might be online registration, automated student records, and faster enrollment processes. So analysis phase. So the deliverable of the analysis phase reports on the following major system analysis results. So first is the difference between as-is system and the to-be system, the system requirements for the to-be system, and lastly, the strategy of system development for the design phase. Next naman, we have the design phase. So it determines how the to-be system will be created and how it will operate in terms of hardware, software, networking system, personnel, and operational procedures. So the deliverables of the design phase are the detailed system specification of system infrastructure, hardware, software, and networking for the implementation phase. So the design phase actually provides the solution to the to-be system. So dito naman in this stage, developers plan how the system will actually be built. So they design things like the system architecture, yung mga databases natin, yung mga user interface, and hardware and software requirements. So think of this as creating the blueprint of the system. So just like an architecture design sa isang bahay, before construction. So for example, in an online enrollment system, developers will then design kung ano yung login page ng student, the subject selection interface. We have here the payment integration and also the database for student records. So meron po bang questions sa ating design phase? Next is we have the implementation phase. So the implementation phase builds the new information system based on the system specification provided by the design phase. So the methods applied to the system implementation phase vary depending on the stages of system development. And lastly, by the end of the implementation phase, the new information system replaces the old information system. So in this stage, so this is where the actual system is built and installed. So dito daw na-install na or nagawa na yung actual system. So developers can now start the coding the program, installing the software, testing the system, and then training ng mga users. So eventually, the new system replaces the old system. So for example, after the online enrollment system is finished, and then students will now enroll through the online portal instead of lining up physically. So that means the new system is now operational. Nagigets po. So sa implementation, na-implement na yung ating new system or na-build na, na-install na. And then lastly is the maintenance phase. So the maintenance phase improves the new information system because of the innovation of information technology and significant changes of the business environment. The cost of the system maintenance eventually becomes unjustified at a certain point. And then once the system is deployed, any necessary upgrades, enhancements, and changes can be made, implementing new features into the operating software. And it is crucial to maintain and modernize the system regularly so it can adapt to future needs. So yung maintenance phase naman natin, so even after a system is implemented, it still needs improvement and update. So katulad nung mga phone natin, so if you're using an iPhone, meron din diyan yung mga update ng ating mga iOS. So this phase involves fixing bugs, updating the features, involving or improving features, improving performance, and adapting to new technology. So for example then, so the university might add new features like online payment, yung mobile enrollment, and then the automated grading system. And then so the system is continuously improved over the time. So meron po bang question sa ating SDLC? So to summarize the chapter 5, so the system development life cycles consists of 5 phases. So we have here the planning phase. So it is used to identify the problem and determine the feasibility. We have here the analysis to understand the current system and requirements. We have here also the design. So plan how the system will work. And then next is the implementation, build and install the system. And then lastly is the maintenance systems and in a structured and organized way. So without SDLC, systems development can be chaotic, expensive, and inefficient. So any question po sa ating chapter 4 and chapter 5? So if you don't have any questions, so nag-provide na po ako ng ating activity 1. So it is already posted sa ating G-Class. And then you can access also the example. So nag-provide na din ako ng example sa ating activity 1. And then you can submit it through the Google Drive link provided na din sa ating G-class. So, yung ating activity 1 is to be submitted on or before March 29. So, you have this week and then next week para sa ating activity 1. And then, since tapos na nating i-discuss yung mga topics na kasama sa ating midterm exam, which is the chapter 3, chapter 3.1, the chapter 4, and then the chapter 5, ibibigay ko na yung time natin sa Thursday para sa paggagawa ng inyong activity 1. So, sa atin pong schedule on Thursday. So, yun po ay ibibigay ko na sa inyo para po magawa nyo po ang ating activity 1. If meron po kayong question regarding sa ating activity 1, you can message me naman or through private or sa ating GC. So, any question pa po? Or concern? Okay po. So, if wala na pong question or wala na pong concern para po dun sa mga students po na hindi nakapag-attendance, kindly type your name na lang sa ating chat box and then you can leave na. Again, so thank you for attending sa ating Google Meet.